Steven Spielberg himself even said that the scariest shark in Jaws is the music. Don't believe me? Listen to this. Bum 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 bum. We're gonna need a bigger bowl. Jaws! I've been waiting so long to do this review. I'm so excited to be here now and be able to be doing it. Jaws was released in 1975 and is directed by Steven Spielberg. Every time I say that name, I just get so excited. You know, just every time I just say that name, I'll see it on the screen. Like, directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by Steven Spielberg. Even produced, I just get a bit excited. But Jaws was released in 1975 and is directed by Steven Spielberg and stars Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss. If you don't know the plot already, you're generally living under a rock. You generally are, because this is one of the most famous films of all time. So I'm going to give a general plot for this film. The film revolves around the character Cheif, Brody, played by Roy Scheider in the film. He's a lifeguard that has been sent down from New York to Amity Island for the summer to help lifeguard. However, he's a lifeguard who is afraid of seawater and he's afraid of swimming. However, earlier on in the film, we have seen a young girl who was drunk at the time called Cassie, who went swimming in the very, very early morning daylight and was supposedly killed by a great white shark. And then not too long after the film, we see all these kids playing in the water, and then another kid gets killed. Kid on a raft, a very young kid on a raft gets killed by the shark. And then the shark also makes an appearance on the 4th of July when all the beaches of Amity Island are packed and very, very busy. So the threatening appearance of the shark on the 4th of July by the beaches, as well as the deaths of the two younger children early on in the film, lead Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss to all go and hunt for this big great white shark. And Robert Shaw is a shark hunter and Richard Dreyfuss is a scientist who's a bit of a shark enthusiast at the same time as well. And basically they all go and hunt for the shark. But it's not as simple as it sounds. And I have missed a couple of plot points out. For example, you get the whole plot line with the mayor who wants to keep the beaches open, even so, you know, the life-threatening circumstances if they do keep the beaches open. Also the whole plot line when they do actually catch a shark, but they catch the wrong shark. There's loads of stuff that I haven't talked about, but basically that's the whole plot of the film. But that's the big plot of the film. 2 deaths on this island by this great white shark, and there's been threatening to be more deaths, so Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw must go out and hunt down the shark and ultimately defeat it once and for all. And one of the things I just want to make clear about this film is that it's not just a creature film. It's not just a monster film. One of the things many people think about Jaws and Jurassic Park, for that matter, which is also directed by Spielberg, which, by the way, I can't wait to review. But one of the things people always think about Jaws is that it's a monster film. But it's so much more than that. This film has so many interesting characters. It's so interesting to watch. It's so intriguing to watch. It's so much more than just a film about shark. You know, it really, really is. And so I'm not even going to beat around the bush on my opinion of the film. I love this film. I love this film to bits. Pun intended. Honestly, I love this film so much. It's so fantastic. And it's absolutely amazing to watch. One of the things people don't realise with this film is that this film invented the summer blockbuster. This was the first film ever to reach over $100 million at the US box office. Now bear in mind, Star Wars did that 2 years after in 1997, which is one of my all-time favourite movie stars. But Jaws was the first film to do that. Jaws, 2 years before Star Wars, broke box office records. People were lining up to go and watch this film. This film invented the summer blockbuster. It grossed over $100 million at the box office. And I just think that's incredible, just that fact alone. But that isn't why I love it so much. I love it so much for so many reasons. First, one of the reasons I do want to talk about is the characters of the film. The characters of the film are so interesting. For example, take a look at Roy Scheider's character, Cheif, probably one of the most famous characters in film history, in my opinion. Basically, there's so much more to his character than just being a lifeguard. Really, there is. For example, yes, he's a lifeguard and he's afraid of water, and throughout the film, we see him conquer his fears, quite literally. But also, he is a husband and a father. The film has heart. The film, you know, revolved around a murderous shark. It also has heart. We see the relationship between him and his family. He will literally do anything to save his kids. And we see that in the film, when the shark is actually swimming around one of his sons in the film, and Cheif Brody literally wants to do whatever he can to get his son out of the water, away from that shark. In the end, Cheif Brody is just a family man. He just wants to do whatever he can to protect his family. And that's the heart of the film. And it shines really brightly. It really does. The heart of the film is absolutely fantastic. And also at the same time, we have Robert Shaw's character. Robert Shaw's character has one of the best introductions I've ever seen. Honestly, I forgot his introduction. I watched the film last night, and I remember, and then I was just watching his introduction. Basically, right, they're all in this meeting, they're all talking about all these people, all these citizens of Amity Island. They're talking about what they're going to do. They're going to close the beaches after one of the kids has just died from the shark. And then basically, on the back of this room, we just start saying the clawing on a chalkboard. It's Robert Shaw's character, Quint. That's his name, Quint. And basically, on this chalkboard you have this drawing of the shark, and Robert Shaw's character is just clawing over this drawing of the shark. You just hear the creaking of the chalkboard, and then the camera slowly tracks to his character. Just in that one scene where Spielberg introduces his character, you just feel so much presence with the character. And then you get Richard Dreyfuss' character, who probably brings the most comedy to the film. Because this film, surprisingly enough, does actually have moments of comedy, which it's great. But anyway, Richard Dreyfuss' character probably brings the most comedy to the film. Basically, he's a bit of an odd character. He's a shark enthusiast. He doesn't really fit in with this town. He keeps getting arguments with the mayor and even Roy Scheider's character, who is the only person he really gets along with. And he's a bit of an odd guy, and there's lots of scenes in the film that enforce that. For example, there's actually one scene in the film where he just shows up at Chief Brody's house with a red wine and a white wine, and he's just like, I didn't know which one you liked. You can tell he's just on a bite. He's just such an odd guy. And even in the shark attack at the end, when they're trying to hunt down the shark, he just brings a bit of comedy to the film. I actually love Richard Dreyfuss in this film. I really do. It's kind of the odd one out. His comedy is really odd, but at the same time it fits really well in the film. And in the third act of the film, you know, when they're trying to hunt down the shark, you'll just get little moments of comedy with Richard Dreyfuss' character. It's like, oh boys, he's coming back for his noon feeding, and it's really, really good. His performance in the film is great, and he brings a bit of comedy to the film, which I think is what the film actually needed. What many people don't understand about the film, it's got drama, comedy, and suspense, and that's just shown through one of the scenes in this film. One of the scenes in the film, which is one of my favourite scenes, and it's actually Spielberg has even said himself is his favourite scene, is a scene when all the three men, all the main three characters, are just sitting on the boat, night time outside, and basically they're all just talking about the past. They're all just joking around. You know, Richard Dreyfuss starts joking around with Robert Shaw's character, the Roy Scheider's character starts laughing with them, and then the scene starts to become a bit more serious. We find out about Robert Shaw's past, and he gives off an incredible performance in this film. Just the way the camera just stays on him and slowly zooms into this character. I've just noticed that happens like twice with Robert Shaw's character in the film, because he's quite, you know, it's quite a character you don't want to mess with, to say the least. Anyway, in the scene, he delivers his amazing monologue about his past, about his, you know, past with sharks, and that's when you hear the screams. And it's absolutely fantastic in the scene, and the scene just focuses on him, and he's delivering this incredible monologue. It's so serious and it's so suspenseful, and that's one of the absolutely fantastic scenes in the film. Just the scene where all three men are just talking on this boat, because the scene has comedy, drama, and suspense, all in that one scene, and that just shows what the film's all about. Like, the film itself has comedy, suspense, and drama, all in this one film. It works so well. And of course, I have to talk about the cinematography and the music of this film. I cannot do a review of Jaws and not talk about the music. And I'm going to get onto the music very shortly. One of the things I do want to talk about in the film is cinematography. Now, if you don't know already, it's actually quite famous that the shark in the film doesn't actually show up properly to the second act of the film. Spielberg even said himself that it was a deal breaker, that he only wanted to direct the film if the people didn't get to see the shark to the second half of the film. But also, at the same time, there were production problems. Basically, they built 3 rubber sharks for the film to use in these shark fight scenes. But when all 3 sharks got in the water, whenever they tried to use one of the sharks in the water, it didn't work. So basically, Spielberg had to improvise. And one of the things he did so well is the low-angle underwater shot. Because it's so distinctive. Literally from the first minute of the film, you're under the water, you're in this underwater shot, this underwater perspective shot, and you're swimming, and you kind of get the idea it's a shark, that you're not entirely sure. And then you get the first scene with Chrissy, the first shark attack in the film. You get this underwater shot, and you know it's a shark. You just know it's a shark from just where it's looking up at the character. And it's absolutely fantastic. Honestly, it's just that one shot. It's so distinctive, and I bet it saves so much money and so much time. Because one of the things about that shot is you don't actually see the shark. You're kind of in this perspective of the shark, and you see the prey it's hunting. You don't actually see the shark itself, but yet at the same time, you feel it. It's such a fantastic use of cinematography. It's such a fantastic use of camera work as well. And it's such a fantastic way to improvise after, you know, the rubber sharks weren't working. And it's also a fantastic way to build up this antagonist. And one of the things people don't realise about, you know, Jaws, is the antagonist of this film is just a shark. It's so simple and yet so clever. You know, it's so fearful, but at the same time, it's so relatable. People can relate to this fear, and at the same time, the antagonist doesn't say a word because it's a shark, but you feel so scared whenever you know it's coming. And one of the reasons, and now I'm getting really excited, one of the reasons that you feel so much presence with this shark is not only the underwater shot, but it's the music. Honestly, the music for this film is utterly incredible. John Williams got an Oscar for his music for the film, and it's completely understandable. Honestly, the music for this film is so good. Honestly, every time you get this underwater shot and you get the bum 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 bum, you know the sharks are there. You just know it for the music. Yes, the underwater shot shows that you're in the perspective of the shark, and yeah, you can feel the shark just through that shot, but also it's reinforced just through the music. Spielberg himself even said that 50% of the film actually, you know, wouldn't have been the same without the music. He actually muted scenes on Jaws without the music. and they just don't, they're not nearly as good. The music is so good in the film. And Spielberg himself, like he even said in the opening of this video, so the scariest shark in Jaws is the music. But it's not just the shark theme that works so well, that John Williams did so well in the theme. Don't get me wrong, that shark theme is so iconic. But also you get other themes throughout the film. For example, one of the musical themes towards the end of the film is when all the three characters just are trying to get the barrel off the boat to attach to the shark so they can see where the shark is swimming. But it's just the music of that scene is so good. You know, it's so triumphant. You know, oh, they're gonna get the barrel off. Oh no, are they? Oh no, and then you get the shark swimming around the boat. You get this music suddenly changes, and you're like, oh god, what's going to happen to these characters? And the intensity and the suspense of those scenes would not be the same without the music. John Williams literally created the suspense and intensity of this film. The music for the film is incredible. If you haven't heard the Jaws theme, where have you been? You're literally living under a rock, because the theme for the film is so incredible, and it's just used so well. And that's just why I love the film so much. It's so well directed as well. There's so many like long one shots in the film, but the camera will just, it won't cut for ages. For example, like I said, the one long shot when you're introduced to Robert Shaw's character. There's loads more in the film. I don't know how he filmed some of those scenes in the boat, but at the same time they're so well edited. Honestly, you know, like watching these scenes, you just feel so intense. And that's the thing with this film. This film came out in 1975, and it still feels intense today. Not many films I can say that for. It still works as an incredible film. It still works as an incredibly suspenseful and intense film. I watched this film last night, and I actually still jumped at least 3 times in this film. And that was only last night. I still jumped 3 times. And one of the times I actually jumped in the film, the thing is, I knew the shark was coming, but I still jumped anyway. You know, Chief Brody is just feeding out the meat into the water, and the shark just comes up, and you just go. And then you get the famous line, we're going to need a bigger boat. And the thing is, I watched this film like when I was 11 or 12 initially, and I thought the film was good. I did. I liked the film, but I didn't get the hype over it. Bear in mind, my opinion of films was very different back then. I watched this film again about 3 years ago, and I loved it. I was going back and watching quite a few famous Spielberg films again, and I watched Jaws, and I loved it. Honestly, it's an amazing film. The performances from the lead 3 actors are fantastic, and they're so interesting characters at the same time. The heart of the film is there with Roy Scheider and his family. He would do whatever he can to protect his family, and also at the same time, you have these fantastic scenes. And these suspenseful scenes don't always revolve around the shark. Just the scenes where the characters are talking, and just the scenes at night when Richard Dreyfuss' character be going exploring an abandoned boat, and then the dead body just shows. It's just, honestly, it's so fantastic, because it's got an amazing antagonist that doesn't say a word, but at the same time, it's so scary, the shark, and at the same time it's got an incredible score from John Williams, which the film would not be the same without it. It really wouldn't. Honestly, every time you hear that shark theme, you know the shark's there. It's so well directed. Even so, though with production problems, I think all in all, it actually turned out better. The underwater shot with the music is so distinctive. You don't actually see the shark for the first half of the film, but you feel the shark. You're in the perspective of the shark. That's good filmmaking. All in all, I think it goes without saying that I love Jaws, and I'm going to give this film a 9.5 out of 10. Why not a 10 out of 10? Well, it's one of my favourite Spielberg films, but it's not my favourite Spielberg film, I must admit. I do prefer a few more over this film. That's not to say this film is bad in any way, though, because seriously, it's not. It's so intense, so well edited, and I absolutely adored this film. Just from the opening scene, you know what you're going in for. Absolutely fantastic, so suspenseful, excellent music, excellent acting, excellent performances, excellent direction. Wow, I love this film so much. If you haven't seen the film yet, what are you waiting for? Absolutely incredible. All in all, I'm going to say Jaws is a 9.5 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, what do you think of Jaws? Do you love it to hate it? Or have you just not watched it? And if not, why not? Please do comment below and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Seriously, why haven't you watched this film? It is so good. It is amazing. Honestly, this film is incredible. I make an effort of watching this film at least once a year. At least. Honestly, I love this film. I love this film to bits. Pun intended. Anyway guys, just to say once again that I'm still watching and reviewing the Spielberg films right now. So look forward to my review of Close Encounters of the Third Kind coming very soon on this channel. Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like, subscribe on this video, and I look forward to many more both film and TV reviews and Spielberg reviews coming very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, but bye for now. Bye!